My girlfriend told me last week, out of nowhere, I'm going on vacation with my ex. We're just friends. I said, great, I'll join you. He owes me money anyway. That's when her jaw dropped, and I swear I could see about 100 unspoken words fighting to get out. She blinked 3 times, like she was trying to reboot her brain. What do you mean you'll join us? She asked slowly. I shrugged. I mean, I'll buy a ticket. Where are we going? You didn't say. Beach, mountains, cruise? I'm easy. She hesitated. It's, a small coastal town. You wouldn't like it. Well, you'd be surprised. And this ex of yours, Josh, right? He still owes me $200 from that poker night in 2019. I figure this is a perfect chance to collect. She went pale. You can't just come. Sure I can. You're going with him. We're supposedly in a trusting relationship, so why wouldn't I be welcome? She suddenly remembered she had to get ready for work, even though she works from home. That was clue number 1 that something wasn't right. For context, I've been with Lily for 3 years. Things had been good for the most part. Some ups and downs, but nothing dramatic. Recently, though, she'd been on her phone more, laughing at messages she wouldn't share and taking girls' nights that didn't seem to include any of her actual friends. When she dropped the vacation with my ex bomb, I expected some kind of discussion. Instead, she said it like she was telling me she was picking up milk on the way home. That night I did some digging. Her ex, Josh, was someone she dated briefly in college, a guy who moved 2 states away after they broke up. I hadn't thought about him in years until I saw his name pop up in her Venmo transactions 2 weeks ago, a payment for half the Airbnb. The next morning, over breakfast, I said casually, "So what's the flight number? I need to book my seat before the plane fills up." She stared at me like I'd just announced I was joining the circus. "You're serious about coming?" "Dead serious." You'll ruin the dynamic." I raised my eyebrow. "The dynamic of a romantic beach trip with your ex?" "It's not romantic," she insisted. "We're just catching up." "Cool. Then you won't mind if I come along to catch up too, with the guy who still owes me cash." She dropped her fork and stormed off, muttering something about me being unreasonable. I just sipped my coffee. By Friday, she still hadn't given me the flight info, so I found it myself. Easy enough when you know the destination and dates. I booked my ticket, seat 14C. When I told her, she looked like she'd swallowed a lemon. "You actually bought it?" "Yep. Oh, and I got travel insurance, just in case the trip gets interesting." She didn't speak to me the rest of the night. Monday morning, we got to the airport. She tried to convince me to check in at a different time so we wouldn't have to sit together. I laughed and waved it off. At the gate, Josh showed up. I hadn't seen him in years, but he looked exactly the same. Messy blonde hair, smug grin, the kind of guy who thinks a leather bracelet is a personality trait. "Hey man, long time no see." His smile faltered. Hey? I hear we're vacationing together." Lily shifted uncomfortably. "Josh didn't know you were coming." "Oh, I figured. That's why it's a surprise. Also, you still owe me $200 from poker night in 2019. I figure this is a perfect chance to collect." Josh went pale. You can't just come." "Sure I can. You're going with him. We're supposedly in a trusting relationship, so why wouldn't I be welcome?" We boarded. I was in 14C, Lily in 14B, Josh in 14A, trapped together for 3 hours. About 30 minutes in, I decided to make conversation. "So, Josh, what made you 2 decide on this trip?" Josh hesitated. We just wanted to catch up." "Right, because there's no better way to catch up than a 5-day stay in a romantic coastal Airbnb." Lily glared at me. "It's not romantic." Josh's smirk suggested otherwise. Somewhere over the clouds, I excused myself to use the bathroom. On the way back, I saw something on Lily's phone. She was leaning away from Josh, typing furiously to someone named S. The message read, "He's here. I told you this would be a disaster."
I sat down without saying a word. When we landed, I got my first surprise. The Airbnb wasn't just a small beach house, it was a luxury cottage. Private beach, hot tub, the works. Paid in full, split between Lily and Josh. Wow, I said, dropping my bag. You guys really went out for this catching up. Don't start. I'm just saying, this looks more like a honeymoon spot than a friendly get-together. Josh muttered something about me killing the vibe. The first day mostly kept to myself. Walked to the beach, had a few drinks at a nearby bar, called my buddy Ryan to fill him in. He laughed so hard I thought he'd choke. But that night I overheard something through the thin cottage walls. Lily and Josh talking in hushed voices. Lily, I didn't think he'd actually come. Josh, we can work around him. Lily, it's just 5 days. He'll get bored. I grinned in the dark. Oh, I was not getting bored. Day 2, I decided to be extra friendly. Made pancakes for everyone in the morning. Asked Josh about his work, his hobbies, his love life. Watched him squirm. At lunch, I casually brought up the poker night debt again. So Josh, any chance you got that $200 on you? He laughed nervously. I'll get it to you. No rush, we've got the whole trip. That afternoon, I wandered into town. At a small cafe, I ran into a woman who looked oddly familiar. Long brown hair, bright green eyes. She did a double take. Wait, are you with Lily? Yeah, why? She used to date my brother. She's, not the loyal type. Turns out Lily had a bit of a reputation in this town from summers past, and not the good kind. That evening, I returned to the cottage to find Lily and Josh in the hot tub, fully clothed, thankfully, but sitting way too close. Room for one more? I asked, stepping onto the deck. Josh looked like he'd rather jump into the ocean. The next morning, things took a turn. I woke up to find my bag on the porch. Lily was standing there, arms crossed. You need to leave. Why is that? You're ruining this trip. Oh, the trip with your ex that you didn't tell me was a romantic getaway? It's not romantic. I smirked. Then you won't mind if I stick around to make sure that it's not. She stomped back inside. By day 3, Josh was visibly uncomfortable around me. At breakfast, he blurted, Why are you even here? Because your girlfriend, I nodded at Lily, forgot we were still together when she booked this little adventure. Josh froze. Girlfriend? Lily went pale. I told you we were on a break. No, you told me you needed space. You didn't say it was because you wanted to rekindle something with Mr. Leather Bracelet. Josh stood up so fast his chair tipped over. What the hell is this, Lily? It's not like that, she insisted. I sat back, sipping my coffee. Actually, Josh, you should probably know, she's been messaging a guy named S since we got here. Lily's head snapped toward me. You went through my phone? Nope. You're just bad at hiding your screen on a plane. Josh looked like he wanted to leave right then. And that's when I got a text from Ryan. Dude, just found something you're gonna want to see. I stepped outside to call him. You know how Lily said she was going away for just these 5 days? Yeah. She booked another trip with Josh 2 weeks from now. Same Airbnb. I glanced back through the window. Lily and Josh were arguing, voices rising. Oh, this was about to get even more fun. I walked back in just in time to hear Josh say, If you lied about this, what else did you lie about? Lily was in full defense mode. I didn't lie, I just didn't tell you everything. That's the definition of lying, I said helpfully. She shot me a death glare. Stay out of this. Hard to, when you invited me along by accident. That night, I made sure to join them for their romantic beach walk. Every time they stopped to talk, I'd stroll up with some random fact about sea turtles or ask Josh if he'd brought my 200. By the time we got back to the cottage, Josh looked like he'd rather pack up and leave. And that's exactly when the real twist showed up, on 4 wheels, headlights cutting through the dark. It was a black SUV, and when the driver's door opened, I recognized the man immediately. That's where I'll pause this first half. The SUV arrival is where the mid-story escalation starts. The second half will reveal who's in the SUV, why they're there, and how the vacation goes completely off the rails.
The black SUV stopped just a few feet from the cottage. The engine idled for a moment before the driver's door swung open. Out stepped a tall man in his late 30s, wearing a crisp button-down shirt and carrying a leather duffel. His eyes scanned the porch until they locked on Lily. "Well," he said, his voice sharp enough to slice glass, "isn't this interesting?" Lily froze. "Mark, what are you doing here?" Mark. I recognized the name instantly, not because Lily had told me about him, she hadn't, but because Ryan had. This was the guy she'd been texting under S. Turns out S stood for sugar, as in sugar daddy. Mark ignored Josh completely and strode up the steps. "You said you couldn't see me this week because you were visiting family. Imagine my surprise when I got a tip you were here with 2 other men." Josh's head snapped toward Lily. "2 other what?" Lily's voice cracked. "It's not what it looks like." "Oh, it's exactly what it looks like," I said, leaning against the porch rail. Mark's jaw clenched. "So which one is the boyfriend?" "That would be me," I said, raising my hand. "But don't worry, she didn't mention you either." Josh's face went red. "Wait, you're her boyfriend? Then what the hell am I doing here?" I grinned. "Good question. You might want to ask Lily that after you give me my 200. The next few minutes were pure chaos. Lily tried to calm both men down. Mark kept demanding an explanation. Josh kept demanding to know if she'd been seeing Mark behind his back, or his side. Honestly, it was hard to tell who was the main course and who was dessert in this mess. Finally, Mark cut her off. "You know what? I'm not here for answers. I'm here for my money." Josh blinked. "She owes you money, too?" "Two?" asked Mark. I raised a hand. "Yep, 200, since 2019. Poker night. He's been slippery ever since." Josh groaned. "You're unbelievable." "No, she's unbelievable. You're just bad with debt." Mark set his bag down, unzipped it, and pulled out a thick envelope. "Here, this is for the trip I paid for in advance, the trip she was supposed to take with me next week. I'm getting a refund, and she's not seeing a dime of it." Lily's eyes went wide. "You can't just—" "Yes, I can," Mark said flatly, "and you're blocked." He turned to leave, but not before glancing at me. "Good luck with her, buddy. You'll need it." "I'm not keeping her," I said. "Consider her up for grabs." Or not. Mark drove off into the night, and for a moment there was silence. Then Josh exploded. "You were planning a second trip here with him?" "It wasn't like that," Lily stammered. "It is like that, because I have the screenshots." Josh spun toward me. "You knew?" "Yep. Found out this morning. I was just waiting for the right moment." Josh shook his head. "You're insane." "Maybe, but I'm not the one juggling 2 guys and a sugar daddy." By now, Josh's romantic getaway glow had completely burned out. He started packing. Lily chased him into the bedroom. "Josh, wait! We can talk about this!" "No, we can't," he said, zipping his suitcase. "You used me, you used him, and apparently you used Mark too. You're toxic." Lily's voice was trembling now. "So you're just going to leave?" "Yeah," Josh said, "and I'm taking the first flight out." As he stormed past me, I stepped in front of him. 200. He groaned, reached into his wallet, and slapped the bills into my hand. "There, paid. Happy?" I smiled, ecstatic. The next morning, Josh was gone. That left just me and Lily. She sat at the kitchen table, staring into her coffee. "You didn't have to ruin everything." "Oh, I didn't ruin anything. I just sped up the crash that was already coming." She glared at me. "We could have had a nice trip." "Sure, if your definition of nice involves lying to multiple people and hoping they never run into each other." She pushed her mug away. "So what now?" "Now, you check out early and I enjoy the rest of the Airbnb by myself. I could use a vacation from you." To my surprise, she actually left, called a cab, packed her stuff, and was gone before noon. And me? I spent the next 2 days doing exactly what she probably planned to do: long walks on the beach, hot tub at sunset, expensive takeout delivered to the deck.
On the last day, I ran into the cafe woman again. She smiled. "So, how's the trip?" Let's just say, I came here chasing $200 and left with a 5-star vacation and a story that's going to make my friends laugh for years. She laughed. "Sounds like you won." Oh, I did. And the best part? She's probably telling her version right now, and in hers, I'm the villain, which just makes my version even better. When I got home, Ryan was waiting for me with beers. "So, worth the plane ticket?" I grinned. 200 up, luxury stay, and I didn't have to fake a single smile. Yeah, I'd say it was worth it. And that's how my girlfriend's romantic vacation with her ex turned into my all-expenses-paid petty revenge tour. Sometimes timing really is everything.